Hey ho out there, everybody. We made it through April 8th at 24, so this being the 9th of April. Got to go experience the eclipse that happened yesterday. Absolute amazing experience. There's a lot of people, that was down south, I guess, in Texas and stuff. They had a cloudy day. They weren't able to experience it as near as well as we did up here in the southern part, but had an amazing time. I thought it was surreal. That's the best way that I can explain when you have the sun right there and then you see literally a full eclipse like that. I mean, just completely block out, the sun like that. That's, to be in perfect alignment, to totally, it's just, I thought it was amazing. So anyway, I had a really good day yesterday. I have a question out there for anybody who is a Chinese connoisseur, such as I self-proclaim myself to be. I love Chinese food, and why you can't hardly find a Chinese place open on a Monday, especially a buffet. I don't know what that is. I think there's some kind of glitch in the matrix there or something, whatever you want to call it. But I really like Chinese food a lot. I mean, that's one of my favorite foods. But anyway, yeah, for whatever reason, couldn't find no China buffets open, and so wound up having Mexican. We love Mexican. Had a good time. Got to spend it with the boss, which is something I don't get to do very much at all. Doing is enjoying time with him and hanging with him. Seems like I'm always busy working and trying to make things better, or putting up with other things and problems and stuff like that. People have problems. I try to help them fix whatever problems that they have. There's been a lot of people that's been sick or whatever for this variant or whatever, and we definitely want to stay away from any subjects that's got to do with the stabby thing or whatever, because YouBoob here being the private owned company that it is, they don't like freedom of speech, So if you say, oh, there's a hamburger and I don't like hamburgers, I like cheeseburgers. Well, if they say that they like hamburgers and you're not going to say anything about hamburgers, guess what? They want to make sure that they, put the screws down on your thumbs there. And so me trying to get true information out there and actually just have an American voice, with freedoms and rights and stuff, say what we want to. And see, let's not ever forget, and here's why I have a severe problem with YouBoob. Okay, old YouBoob here, they say, oh, you can't say anything about the stabby wabby there. You can't tell people that there is stuff that should not be. You can't say anything like that. If you try to show somebody the truth and the way it actually is, and get out information or say about actual information, even the way it was, then they want to come at you. They want to demonetize you. They want to strike you. They want to get you off there, whatever they can. Because all they want you to do is come on and make weird noises with your butt or whatever it is that you do, or dance around in a tutu if you're a man and act like that you're a female, or if you're a female, try to become a man or whatever, which will never ever happen. But as long as you're doing something demonic or whatever, YouTube loves you. So anyway, this but here's why that I have such a problem with them. Private company, do whatever you want to with a private company. I understand that. Well, it's like, why are you on here? Well, let me tell you why I'm on here. Because why did they get in bed with the government, which everybody that I know and on here, if you say the word government, you don't think of warm and fuzzy feelings. You don't think, oh, there's my friend. Hell no. You think there is the devil itself, and it is. That's why I call the government the beast. It's made up of numbers, isn't it? And it loves to take the numbers from you and I. And then whenever these people, they get wealthy, where's Elon Musk or any of them, Bill Gates, any of them, they get so much money, because they knew how to do a computer, or they designed something or whatever, or they come out with a Twitter or something like that, or and the people uses it, and then in turn makes them stupid, filthy, unbelievably rich. They decide, oh, well, let's not use this money to do something good, or let's give back to the people some way and say, hey, instead of, having to pay, Bill Gates made so much money off of this that he wants to actually put so much of it towards the national debt or eliminate taxes on, people going to school or something like that. They just give it up. Don't put his name to it. They will never do anything like that. No. Why? Because we the people keep giving them power. We the people vote with our money. And I know it's not money. It's currency. I get it. But money, currency, it's not the same. I get it. So whenever I say our money, it's just currency. It's the whatever the heck it is that we use with the dead presidents all over it. Or the plastic card, whichever, our credits, whatever, however you want to put it. But they never, ever, ever do anything. And Elon Musk, he says, oh, AI bad, don't do AI. But yet here he's got Neuralink and all this stuff out and putting it in people's heads and stuff. We already know that it won't be used as something good for very long. Yep. That's a wonderful thing. The one guy that was in, that got planted with the first one, and now he can play his games till midnight or whatever. It's a wonderful thing, But how long will it be before it's, well, let's see. Because this is what they say. They say right now, it's like they can download and make you already know Mandarin if you've never spoke Mandarin a day in your life, or French. If you never spoke French, they can just download French into your brain. Well, guess what? They can also download things in your brain saying, hey, anytime you see the color of this, or if you hear the name this is what you'll do, So if you want to eliminate or whatever you want to do, they know what they're doing. It's never for anything great and wonderful. So, anyway, we're going to try to call our representative there, old Dr. Doolittle himself, and we'll be right back. Well, I'm going to say it's my buddy Jake.
How you doing, sir?
Okay, how about you? What'd you think of the eclipse?
It was, we didn't get totality here in Washington, D.C., but it was pretty darn cool, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I don't have it loaded up there yet. I put out some quick clips yesterday. I got to go with the boss there, and we hung out a little bit and had a good time and got us something to eat afterwards. But, yeah, we actually was in complete and total eclipse to the point where the street lamp that was there came on.
Yeah, I saw a video in Cleveland where there's a really good photo of the eclipse literally right above, I can't remember the main name of the main tower there, but it looks pretty darn cool, and it looks like,
Yeah, we went to Beaver Creek is where we was at, which was right what was the name of that we came through Nome on the other side there?
Xenia.
Xenia. Yeah. Beaver Creek's just past Xenia there.
Okay. I haven't been there myself, but I've been to Xenia before.
Yeah. Sorry about that one. No, just kidding. Ohio, what can you say? If you're in Ohio, you're in trouble, right? Matter of fact,
What do you mean, sir?
well, I mean, if you're in the United States, I was actually getting ready to say, Jake, that if you're in the United States, period, that we're all in trouble. The founding fathers, they, I hate calling them that. The ones that established the country and stuff here, for the longest many of years, this worked out fine and great and beautiful and wonderful and all that. But I got to tell you, everybody talks about these amendments to the Constitution and everything, and everybody wants to gripe and grumble about everything. Well, I guess it's our turn as being a white man. I guess it's our turn or my turn to start growling and grumbling. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think there's an amendment that needs to be made. I believe that what we need to do is stop totally and completely anybody coming into this country. Because here's what happens. Anytime that you create something wonderful, like let's say that in your yard that you start saying, hey, I think I'll grill some hot dogs. And you enjoy your hot dogs and they're great and wonderful. Then the smell travels to your neighbors next to you. And the people close to you, they smell it. And then you run into them at the store or something and they say, hey, man, something smelled really good over there. And you say, well, yeah, I actually just fixed my own hot dogs and made them, from scratch and everything. And just, I just thought I'd just start cooking them, every once in a while. Well, hey, if you got any of them extra, man, I wouldn't mind sliding over. Okay, now, the next time that you do it, you don't really invite anybody, but you see people that mysteriously, they show up at your border fence line, the edge of your property, acting like they're trimming the weeds or something, and they want in. And you being the nice and wonderful guy, you say, shoot. Hey, would you like to have a hot dog? Yeah. And they come over, and they're really nice. And why? Because they know that they're going to get a hot dog, right? And not just any hot dog, but they're going to get the best hot dog that you made, that you bought and paid for. You see what I'm saying here? And then next thing you know, a couple of months go by, you continue to do this. Well, now, not just that neighbor, but you got these other people around you and stuff. I'm calling them neighbors, but actually they're just people who live close proximity. But then next thing you know, you have a bunch of people that's hanging out at your place, enjoying your creation that you made, on your dime. And you're providing it for them. Now, you already know where I'm going to with this, Jake. But, at what point, and see, it's very important that you understand that when these people come into your country, they come to your place to eat your hot dogs or your cheeseburger or your apple pie, whatever it is, and they're on your property, they do not come and they don't call you names. And nowadays they might, because the demons have just absolutely overrun this place. And I blame you and Dr. Doolittle and anybody else that takes a dime that's in the government. All of them. But I blame me first and foremost, because I was not diligent, and I didn't know back then not to trust the government to the extent that it deserves to be not trusted. I mean, you talk about, I actually call the government the beast. But back to my yard and my hot dogs, what I created with my drinks that's sitting around, and everybody's enjoying themselves, they're going to be respectful to you. They're going to be appreciative. Or at least pretend to be, right? And you know what? I remember whenever I was younger, and it's been a few years ago, as I just turned 55 on April 1st of this month. And Hey, thanks, Jake. I appreciate that, brother.
I turned 24 as well, so.
When?
April 3rd.
No way!
Yep.
Yay! Shout out to my buddy Jake there. Hey, happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, and happy birthday as well.
For real, that's really cool, man. But what happened was, whenever I was younger, there was true immigrants that from time to time, it's a rare thing, but we would, they would run into us, but we'd see them, and they was always really nice and respectful. And I remember every time leaving thinking, wow, how pretty that they were, or how unique that they were, or, how special. And I honestly thought, at one time I thought, how awesome is it that we have a system set up to where we can create something wonderful. We have something wonderful for other people that don't have an establishment like we do, our yard, our hot dogs, our government, or whatever you want to call it. Back then, this is what I thought. And from time to time, especially like whenever I got to go to my hometown of Columbus, Ohio, which I don't say that with any kind of greatness at all. The people up there are phenomenal. I mean, I talk to a lot of my friends and everything else that's up there. Wonderful, wonderful people. But anytime that we talk about, the government, who's running it and stuff, old Dwayne, what an idiot. Oh my gosh, what an idiot. What's the other one? The old Sherwood Brown. What a freaking complete. You know what? These guys are exactly why that I am saying what I'm saying now. We need a place now to where we cut off all this stuff. I don't want any more immigrants. I don't want them. I don't want them in here. I don't want any immigrants, period. None. I don't care what color. I don't care what race. I don't care what they are. I don't want none of them. And I'm not the only one saying that. And you know what? They keep talking about civil war and stuff. I think there is. But you know where our real civil war should come to be? It should be with these, I hate even saying this word, but with the elites. The elites. That's what they call them, And I don't see them as elite. I see them as evil, demon, selfish pricks. That's what I see them as. They ain't no damn good. All they want to help is their own self. And the lies and stuff that they've put out there, and they run under lies. And they got to the situation where they got to with lies. And you know what? No, it don't begin with this turd here. And right now, Jake, I'm pointing at Barack Hussein Obama and his husband there, Michael Obama. But every damn president that you go back and you look at, every one of them, I think there was one that I found that I couldn't really find a problem with or whatever, and this has been a little while back, but every president that was ever in the United States could have and should have been prosecuted, because we would have got things on track the right way. Like right now, we're all living under this fictitious thing, like me talking to the government right now. Do you really think this here, no matter how many of us calls in, is going to change the damn thing? Nope. It's like our vote. The only damn thing you do with your vote, which don't get me wrong, you got to use your vote. You have to. But the only damn thing that does is you're going to determine if you're going to pick a Democrat rich prick, or if you're going to pick a Republican rich butthead. That's all you're, and I'm telling you, that's all you're doing, because it always boils down to one or the other. Jake, what was it that, Noam, you might know this. What did Trump run under? But besides,
what do you mean, sir?
Now you know what I'm talking about. Like the first time that he actually ran, or he was going to put in or something, he didn't run.
Oh man, I mean, I believe
independent or
President Trump won. I mean, this was either late '90s, early 2000s. He might have been an independent. I'm not entirely sure. So I would have you fact check me on that one.
I think everything ought to be fact checked or whatever. But that fact checking stuff or whatever. Why didn't people just tell the truth, and then we wouldn't be in a situation where you had fact check? But in fact, where that comes from is the Democrats. They wanted this mass confusion and stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. Actually, I'm going to get back to that because Trump ran under, it was that one thing. I think it was the same one that Ross Perot ran under.
Yeah, let me check on that for you.
And Ross Perot, man, what a brilliant guy that was. Ross Perot, man, but nobody wanted to vote for him because he had a weird sounding voice or whatever. Man, I don't care if you sound like Goofy. I don't care. If you're for the people, man, but we got to change some stuff. And I don't mean just lightly. I mean some severe stuff's got to change. And everybody's so unhappy about this country. It's like, oh, we don't want you to wave the flag. What? You're nuts. You're plumb nuts. Get out. Get out of the country. And then these absolute total brain absent people that don't even understand what the Second Amendment is even for. I watched a video where, and there's not just one, there's several of them, but you have these people that say, well, you shouldn't be able to own a firearm that, shoots 13 rounds a second or whatever, which is actually pretty light, you shouldn't be able to own a machine gun, and why do you need that to shoot a deer? Well, maybe because the Second Amendment is not about shooting deer. If you read the damn Constitution, you'll know that it's not for hunting deer. It's not what it's for. There's a more severe thing there that it's for. It's for taking back over the country and doing away with a corrupt government, which is what we have and have had for many years now. But they've created this thing to where if one person, tries to go out and do anything at all or say anything, and especially like right now, look where we're at now. If you try to say anything just straight across the board, they will take you out, And I'm going to tell you something. I proudly would be taken out. I'm not kidding you. I mean every word of what I'm saying. If they came and they eliminated me, I would go to heaven very happily. Here's the thing. I'm not fighting for this world, to be a better place for people like this and the Biden regime and people like that. I'm not. I don't want to see not one creation of the Lord have to suffer, and that's here or anywhere. And we can do better. We can just simply do better. So why not do better? But when you have people coming here to this country and they're complaining about everything, what happened? This is the watered down whiskey that I have talked about several times before, Jake, and I'm sure you remember that. We don't want to be watered down anymore. And you know what? If you're going to say this ain't fair, that ain't fair, we should have reparation checks sent to us, we should have that, we should have this. It is so clear. Nobody really wants an answer to be calm and to get to a better place. People want a position to fight from so that they become number one. And you know what? Here's the way that it is. Why are whites in this country number one? Well, they must have did something right. And people say, well, they came and they wiped out the Indians. This is true. This is very, very true. Very true. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. I didn't do that. But you're expecting to make me pay for other people that done something when I wasn't there? Well, if you're going to play this twisted, mind screw, no sense, dumb I'm not going to call it a game because it's not a game. There's nothing to laugh about. There's nothing funny here, you know. But all I know is that I'm the kind of person that if somebody comes to me, my first thought is, how can I help them if they need help? My first thought is not what can I get from them, but now I understand completely, having learned after repeated offenses against me by these demons, that's what they're about. That's their first thought. Their first thought when they see somebody is, what can I get from them? And how can I do it as easy as possible? Listen, Jake, I just watched the other day, no kidding, I wish I knew where it was at, I'd show you. But this guy was laying on the sidewalk, and he was a homeless guy or whatever. This white guy, I better tell you, I'm not sure. I'm just going to say this person took their coat off, and the only thing I really remember is he was or looked like a male, but he took his coat off and went over there and started covering the guy up, you know, because it was kind of cold outside, and the guy jumps up and robs his ass. Goes after him. Yeah, physically went at, no, look, Jake, you come over to cover me up because I'm on the ground and it's cold out and you're trying to do something nice. When you try to do something nice for somebody and then they come at you like that? Are you kidding? So whose side are you on? Are you on that homeless person's side now? He jumps up and then he comes at, well, look, why is he homeless to begin with?
I'm on the side of law and order, sir, and so is the congressman.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what should law and order be there? Because the guy took his coat off and was showing compassion towards another human being and was covering him up, and the guy jumps up and robs him. I can't remember if he had a knife or something, but he was robbing him. Like wanted his wallet and yelling at him to give him, you know. So nothing is making sense. There's nobody that wants to be held accountable or anything, you know. And, you know, being a Christian, you have to hold yourself to certain standards and everything like that. But there comes a time where you can only push somebody so many times, because the Bible says we're as filthy rags. And I'm a filthy rag because it says everybody is. So that means that I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of me. You know? But how is this even making any sense of the government that is taking and doing things to these other countries, and then we don't know about it? You and I do not know about it. Jake, you don't know about it. Even though you're the government, you don't know about it. You'd have to look this up. But why do you think these countries are talking bad about us? Do you think we're doing wonderful things to them? Hey, let me ask you this. I'm glad I made me think of this. Where does Israel come from?
Say it again, sir.
Okay, more importantly, let me ask you this. When is Israel a country?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Israel is a country. Okay. What is the deal with Israel?
Are you talking about the conflict right now, sir?
You know what? I don't care where you want to jump in there about. Just tell me whatever you want to about Israel.
October 7th, Hamas launched a absolutely brutal attack upon the people of Israel. I believe they killed, on that day specifically, it was 1,000 plus people. You know, women.
Okay.
Women and most disgustingly children, of course. A lot of the acts I won't go into detail here because they're that horrible that Israel's felt the need to respond to that, sir.
Okay. Now, let's explain what's Hamas.
It is an embedded Islamic terror group within Gaza, sir.
Okay, and they're made up of who?
I couldn't tell you exactly who, but people who live in Gaza usually, and they're supplied by outside sources, usually the Iranians.
Okay, now, Israel is in the middle of what?
The Middle East, specifically the Levant.
Right. Okay. So basically what I'm getting at, Jake, is that Israel is set up, it's a country for the Jews. Specifically for the Jews. Right?
Israel, the country, was many people were migrating back post-World War II, specifically Jews, to their homeland, and it was a British protectorate up until 1949.
When it
left and divided.
when Israel actually became a country.
Yeah, 1949.
Right.
That's the nationally recognized date of that country's sovereignty.
Right. Israel was already there, but it actually became a country in 1949. It was actually recognized and put, in. Right. Yeah. So excellent job. But when you have someone who there's so much corruption and stuff with this. Okay, here's what I'm really getting at. Why do all the presidents protect Israel? Why do they say that Israel is so important? Now, here's the thing. Anybody that's ever talked to me, especially on this subject, knows that I'm always real cautious when it comes to Israel, and the Jews, because, it said that the Jews were Jesus' chosen people. But if you read the Bible, it says that when God comes back, that he will make the Jews, how does it say it, Noam? Help me out here. It says he will set them right, or they'll be set right.
In a sense, yeah.
Huh?
In a sense, yes.
In a sense. Okay, well, which however it reads it, we probably should look this up, but you guys look it up. Do your own research on it. But it says when Jesus comes back that he's going to set the Jews right, and if you go back and you look, who was it that actually killed or was responsible for what had to happen, of course, to Jesus? They said, hey, you want to let Jesus go? You want Barabbas, this murderer, go. They chose that over somebody that was saying to love one another, to help one another, to love the Lord. Now, and this is what they want. They don't want a chain to survive. And the chain that they don't want to survive is the link that Christians have with one another, but especially with the Lord. They don't want that link with you and the Lord. They don't want that. And they're trying everything to break that. That's what they're going after. That's what they're really going after. But I started talking about the Civil War, and what that needs to be between are all these people that's got all this money and stuff, and we clearly know that they are doing stuff to we the people. They are literally poisoning our water with this, what's it called, Noam? Help me out here. Fluoride. They're putting fluoride in the water. You all right, Noam?
I was thinking atrazine, but...
Oh, atrazine too. Right. Do you know about that, Jake?
I've heard very brief information on that, but please tell me more. Just more about the topic, please.
Well, it's just another it's another chemical that they're putting in different things that absolutely is mind-blowingly bad for human beings, but they just keep putting it in all kinds of stuff. And this is why it's so important right now to be reading. But even when you read, if you go over to the tap and you turn the tap on to get you a glass of water, look, across the board now, I can't believe this, but in the United States, people's number one thing is like, don't drink the tap water. Why? Well, it's poison. It's poison. It's crazy. But once upon a time, I can remember, everybody drank out of the tap, we had a dipper that hung right next to our sink there for years and years. Aluminum dipper, had a nail put in, and we'd hang that dipper up there or whatever. Everybody drank the water there, But nowadays,
I will say, at my place of residence, I do use a Brita filter, which should theoretically take a lot of those materials and minerals out of the drinking water. So,
but
I
it
recommend.
good for you. But guess what? It will not take out what's the name of it? No,
the fluoride,
no, the other one,
atrazine.
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 Does not get atrazine. Yep. And then here, let's consider this appeal that Bill Gates has got out. Are you kidding me? All you have to do is, once you know that Bill Gates has his name attached to it, you better run. This guy is in computers, and now he's dealing with your food products. He's a computer idiot. He's a demon that knew about computers, and I'm telling you, usually those people like that are not right in the head. If they're good on computers like that, I'm not saying everybody, but 9 times out of 10, if somebody's really good at computers, and because I'm talking about him, and then the other guy that created the antivirus guy, what's his name? Norton. Was it Norton?
Edward Norton? That might, hold on. That's an actor. 1 second, sir.
What is his name now? Anyway, he's rich and all that. And, I had a picture.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah. Usually, if they've made a big bunch of money like that and they're in the computer thing, because look at Mark Zuckerberg there. He's another one. He ripped that off of those guys when he was in college. Facebook scammed them out. What's the name of that movie, by the way?
Social Network. That's another good movie I recommend.
It is. Have you seen it, Jake?
I have. I'll tell you what, I feel like I've seen 75% of the movies that have ever been created. That's how much of a soap I am.
I love it. Now, see, give us the lowdown there. What happened? Because I can remember that there was a group of actual, real young men who actually played sports and were good at it and stuff. They took care of themselves and so on and so forth. But they was considered the jocks of the school or whatever. But they actually was putting together a program to connect each other so you'd know a little bit about people and you could talk to them online. And they actually, now correct me, Jake, because I know you know more about it, but they somehow had the misfortunes of getting hooked up with Zuckerberg here, and he wound up. I'm gonna let you take it from there. You tell us what happened.
I'm trying to remember the name of the two brothers. It was like the Winkle twins, the Winklevoss twins. They created some sort of software that was allowing for some messaging across the Harvard campus, because that's where the Winklevoss twins were going, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's where Mark Zuckerberg was going as well. And I don't want to get the facts wrong here, but I'm pretty sure either the lawsuit that occurred accused Mark Zuckerberg of basically stealing that idea, but the other side, people say that he was inspired by it. So it really could go either way. But Mark Zuckerberg created his own kind of messaging network for the Harvard campus, and then slowly he began to grow that out to other campuses to include like Yale or Boston College, Boston University, a lot of because Harvard's in the Boston area, so we started there. That software, I'm pretty sure, died off, but that gave him the further inspiration to go after and create Facebook, which a lot of us use. I could be wrong about the specifics, but that's the very
well, Jake, what's the name of the movie though? Do you remember? What is it?
Social Network.
Social Network. Very good. Okay, but the original or the main part here, but go watch Social Network, because it's another one of those really must watch. Really, it's just a good movie, But then whenever you think, wow, that really happened, but the part that I was wanting you to put in there, Jake, mainly was that they come across Mark Suckleturd there, and they just wanted him to do the programming. One thing that I want to put in to Dr. Doolittle, while I'm on here, before I let you go, we don't want to be paying these taxes anymore. This corruption, they're throwing away such stupid numbers now. It doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. But I do want to finish up real quickly on Israel. You need to see the list of the people who are receiving big ass money from this funding Israel. Look, when they say they're funding Israel, Jake, what do you think they mean? People out there, what do you think that they mean when they say they're going to fund Israel? Okay, you think, okay, well, let me tell you what I think, what I used to think. Okay, they're funding Israel. Well, Israel needs money for, like their infrastructure, to make things better, their water system, their sewage system, their school system, to teach people how to, do banking or, whatever it is, something good, how to build, how to, computers, whatever, something. No. What that means is, when you're funding Israel, there are so many, okay, like if you got a chunk of cash right here, and it's this big, and this is $10 billion, by the time it does reach Israel, you'd be lucky to see $1 million. Because no kidding, look it up, you can see where Biden, I think, is receiving $97 million of that. And there's actually a thing, but I'd have to find it. Matter of fact, give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can, but give me just a minute.
Look up the candidates, look at their issues. Make sure the person you're voting for is truly the person you want to vote for. Everyone disagrees with certain policy areas, but I think that's what makes our country and our system so beautiful. It's not always going to be perfect, but I think over time, the electorate tends to become more critical, and therefore they're a little more cautious when it comes to picking candidates. And I'm hopeful that future candidates, whether this be this decade or the next 100 years, will take the lessons of the past 50 years and apply them to make our country better.
All right, well, hold on. Let's back up for just a second. I went ahead and jump back on here. And the reason why that I just started rolling here is because we was taking a break here for a minute because I was trying to look up some stuff, and I was discussing while we was looking for that with our buddy Jake here. And I said, at what point do we get where we actually use our Second Amendment? And Jake here was saying, well, we don't really want to talk about, doing something violent or anything like that. Nobody's...
What I said was violence should always be the last option.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take that. Jake is saying and I totally agree. Jake also said that, that we have a lot of problems, but, are we there at the point where, we need to start, there's room for improvement, I think you said. Is that right, Jake?
There's always room for improvement, sir.
All right. And I would absolutely 1,000,000,000% agree with that. Seeing how, I know what it was. We was talking about it being perfect. You said that, it's never going to be perfect. I totally agree with that too. But we're not even wanting something to be perfect. But you got to tell me that you cannot think that there's no room for improvement. I mean, to go higher up from where we are now, because when you're when you have a world, a planet that purposely created something to put out, and this is the subject here that you, Boob, does not want me to discuss, openly or whatever, even though they said that, they're a private company and the government, it's totally separate because they're a private company, even though this private company, fact check it, you, Boob, was doing what the government asked them to do during all of this corrupt time and everything, when there was things happening and stuff. And you don't want to talk about anything that was put in anything like that, because then, they come at you, which they come at me too. So, but when you're talking about millions of people unaliving because of absolutely crazy stuff, we've got a long way to improve. And I gotta tell you, Jake, right now, with all of the other stuff lining up, like the no borders and stuff and flooding in and everything, like I was saying, you know what? I most certainly, there has to be something, and there will be something happen, because the people that are like-minded like me, we're not going to say it, but we're all thinking it, and we may not say it to other people or whatever. Just when the time comes and it needs to happen, it'll happen. And that is exactly why that we have our Second Amendment. And nobody likes that. And this is why I say you have these dipsticks and this is where I want the separation. This is why I don't want anybody else coming into my country. And people says, well, it's not your country. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? We need our own country where we can believe in God and you can't come at us. But wait a minute, let's back up. Isn't that the whole damn reason this country was here to begin with? Because of this very thing? But then you had the corruption that moved in, and it corrupted it again, because if you didn't own a lot of land, or if you wasn't in commerce some way, somehow, with a lot of damn money, you wasn't allowed to vote. They only wanted certain ones. But over time, it got better, so on and so forth. But now we're at a point where people's voting, but they don't really understand that it's not really a solid 100% vote. What do I mean by that? Well, it's supposed to be that whenever you vote for somebody, it's just across the board. But it's really not, because it boils down to whoever these rich people decide that they want in there, that's who will get in there. It'll be the rich. It'll be one or the other rich person. That's the way it always is. And there's legitimately no way that there's somebody that's just don't have anything or whatever. The only way that happens is if you're somebody like old Baraki, old Hussein Obama there. See, old Hussein, he talked really good. He was a good talker. And I mean, he was a good talker to the part where, as I've made clear on several, I voted for that dude twice. Because when they was saying, hey, everybody will have, they'll be able to get medical care if it's made a law that you have to have health insurance. And at first I'm like, wait a minute, if I don't have health insurance, they'll put me in jail? Well, that's not, but once, but I really did think that at first. And then I thought, well, what are they talking about? And then that's when I kind of got in, and they're like, no, they're saying it's a law that you have to have health care, and that means that the government has to do certain things, sort of like socialism, which is another dangerous street to go down. Because there's some people with screws loose there too, And but we want our own country. And it was supposed to be this country. But here's what happens when you're nice and you start inviting people to come over and have a hot dog. At first you can control it, but they find out you got damn good hot dogs, what's going to happen? You'll get flooded.
Hot dogs.
What's that, Jay?
I said more and more people want some hot dogs.
That's right. And next thing you know, they're not coming in invited. Next thing you know, they're coming in. You don't even know who they are. You don't recognize them or anything else. This is literally, and then especially, what happens whenever, like, you say, hey, Jake, I got to run down the store and get some more ketchup. Some more onions, chop up, put on these hot dogs, or running low. Will you mind, watching my place for me? Jake says, sure, I'll watch your place. So I elected my buddy Jake to watch the place, who's in the government. Just want to point that out. And after I elect him or whatever, he just sends the word to everybody, hey, everybody in here, tell everybody else that you know to come on over and get some hot dogs. And whenever you get back, you can't even get in your own home. Because Jake has done flooded your ass with all these people that you don't even know. And you go in to get your toothbrush and it's brown. It's a weird situation. You know what I'm saying? So don't brush with a brown toothbrush. Don't do it. You go to get your something to drink out of your refrigerator, and there's nothing left in your refrigerator. It's done been wiped out. And then you have people complaining. Literally, think about this. We have these ungrateful turds that shouldn't even. But who's the real turd here? Is it these people? No, it's not that. So I take that back. It's not the invaders that is the problem. It's literally Biden who invited them here and told them to come here, and then lied that he didn't. The same way that he lied whenever he said, about this past 31st was National Weirdo Day or whatever, on Easter Sunday or whatever, and then it become a alphabet weird celebrated day or something like that. No, it didn't. You can say whatever you want to. No, it didn't. That's why I say, not your country. This is our country, my country. Get out. If you don't believe in guns, you need to go the hell away. You don't understand what this country is about. You need to go away. If you don't believe in borders, you need to go the hell away. You don't know what this country is about. This ain't your country. It's my country. It's our country. Okay? And across the board, if you do not believe in God, you ain't got no business here. You ain't got no business here. If you're worshiping some fat Buddha, whatever, go away. You ain't got no business here. And I mean exactly what I'm saying. I don't care. When I'm talking about my religion and God, he says to be good to one another and treat people with kindness and respect and stuff, But he also tells us to be as wise as serpents too. So, and he says to anger but not to sin. Okay, well, there comes a time when you have to say, okay, enough is enough, And we've had enough. It's like we've been really nice and we've been really generous, and these people's come into our homes and they ate all of our damn hot dogs, And now they've raided our refrigerator, and now I got a brown toothbrush. It ain't mine no longer. I throwed it out. It's in the trash. And you know what? The rest stuff is going in the trash too, because sometimes you got to say, get the hell out of my damn yard. My yard, get the hell out. You fed and you feasted. And who was the problem here? Well, that had to be me, right? Because I allowed the first person to come into the yard by being kind and wanting to share, right? Who's to blame? Should I have done that or should I have not done that? Was it right to do that or wrong to do that? Well, it doesn't matter, because the long and the short of it is, your yard, your country is overran. They need to get out. And we need to restructure and figure this out for our own people. That is. Jake, do you know, now you and I was talking about, and I want to get back on this. Now I was saying that was Israel, but it is Israel also. But the one I was kind of getting this switched out for one another. Now, I was talking about Israel, but this is actually Ukraine that got like 1 point some billion, or how much was it? Do you remember? Anyway,
exact figures here, but
anyway, Joe Biden winds up with 92 million, and this is from Ukraine officials release how much of a kickback each politician is making. This is the Ukraine. So it's 92 million for Joe Biden. Mitch McConnell gets 89 million. Okay, all these are a million. I'm just going to say. So 92 for Joe Biden. Mitch McConnell, 89. Nancy Pelosi, 86. Chuck Schumer, 66. Lindsey Graham, 82. Mitt Romney, 71. John, who is that? Cornyn, 41. What is it, Jake? Corn, okay. Let's see here. Adam Schiff, turd bucket, 62. Dan Crenshaw, 20. Elizabeth Cheney, we all know about Cheney, 77. So, boy, old Crenshaw there, 20 million. And then look, Elizabeth Cheney, 70. I wonder why Cheney gets 77 million. Boy, whoo. Okay, Kevin McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, $42 million. Jamie Ratskin, man, that dude, what a sicko, 38 million. Mike Pence, old Mike Pence, buddy, 61 million. Greg Pence, I didn't even know there was a Greg Pence. Did you, Jay?
yes, he's in Congress, sir.
Okay, 17. Rick Scott, 63. Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries, sir.
Okay, that's 74. The other one I'm not aware of. Omar, what's her name?
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, 33 million. Elizabeth Warren, everybody knows that raggedy head witch. $42 million. Each one of them, each one of them was getting 66 million, 77 million, and all came from that kickback from Ukraine. Kickback? No, wait a minute. Kickback behind it. That's us that's funding this. The very ones that they're treating like that we don't matter. Nah. We've got some demands of our own. We want these people the hell out of here. We're going to put them out. They're going to go out. They will go out. You know, here's the thing. Even if Mr. Trump doesn't wind up in there, I can assure you there is enough people now to where something will definitely get switched out in there. We have to. There's no way, man. Look, America, you know what America is, Jake? America is truly about, if somebody tells you that you can't have something, like whiskey. You remember Prohibition?
Sir?
You're not old enough. Stop it. Just kidding you. No, but you know what they did? They said, okay, you're not. The government doesn't want us to have whiskey. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to make it. That's what Americans are. That's what we do. We get what we want. We're going to do what it is that we want to do. And what we want to do is we want to get our freedoms back. And it's not so much just for us, but we've got kids that we know are coming up, and we don't want them being underneath of this regime that's happening now. There's no way.
Royal Robinson.
Nobody would be happy at all with any of this stuff. We're going to take it back. We're going to get it back. We got to do it. But there's other things. We don't want to pay any more taxes. Whenever we see, this is why I'm pointing this out too, is that you're talking about Joe Biden with some $1 million. Wait a minute. Isn't he supposed to get like $450,000, which is it's not legit anyway. He's not a legit president. He's not. He's a damn put-in. And if somebody doesn't understand that 2020 election was corrupt, and then they absolutely have a lack of intelligence, to say the very least. And that's me putting it very politely right now. I feel like being polite right now. But look at all the millions, all of those millions. So why, if he's getting paid the $450,000, what's up with this 90-some million dollars that he's getting from Ukraine? So you think that $450,000 matters to him any at all? Absolutely not. And you know what? Let me tell you something. If anybody thinks that that dude is running anything at all, again, they have a very, very, very bad lack of intelligence, you know. I'm telling you. There's no way. No way. Kamala Harris there, another one. That is the strangest person I've ever encountered in my life to be they're not a vice president. She's not a vice president. There's no way. But the evilness has got to stop. We want our country back. We don't want to pay these taxes when we've done paid right here. If you look at the millions, and here's the thing, add that up. Add all, you know, them people we just rolled through there, Jake, together, all of us out there. Look at all these millions we just blowed through there. 90, so you call out 100, Mitch McConnell close to 100, Nancy Pelosi close to 100, you know. So how much does all those millions add up to if you add them up? And how far do you think that would go towards paying your and I taxes, which should not be? That's all, again. And you know what? Here's another thing, too. Nobody ever believes this, Jake, but tell me what you know about if you got to have a driver's license. Did we talk about that?
You may have talked to Charles about that, sir.
Okay, well, you don't need a driver's license, but they have duped the American people into thinking that you have to have a driver's license. And here's the catch-22. You do, in fact, have to have a driver's license if you are doing commerce, which means if you are driving from point A to point B and you are getting paid somehow for that, and you get stopped in between point A and point B to where you're going, and you are asked for your driver's license, you got to have a driver's license, and you have to present your driver's license. Say, here's my driver's license, because you was doing commerce, you was making money. Okay, if you are not making money, read the Constitution. It says you have the right to travel unmolested across this country, unmolested, in your proper and to be secure in your papers, property, and effects. And that includes whether that's walking, horseback, horse buggy, or automobile. Read the Constitution. That's what it says. It's what it says. So you do not need a driver's license if you are somebody that you just go and get in your automobile and you're driving to the grocery store, or if you want to go look at the Grand Canyon or something like that. That's your personal property. When they stop you and they say, let me see your driver's license, don't say, here's my driver's license. And you don't say, I don't have driver's. What you do is you say, I'm a traveler. I'm not driving. They'll say, well, yeah, you are. You say, no, I'm traveling with my property. And your automobile being your property. And that's the way it is. And if you ain't broke no laws or anything like that, they have no right to even stop you. Now, you guys can look up different videos and stuff. They're very hard to find because they don't want you to know about that. But I could actually pull it up on the phone or something. And you know what? Matter of fact, I will make a quick clip out of it real soon. I'll try to do that today. Matter of fact, have you seen this information, Jake?
I've heard very briefly about it, sir. I'll be very interested to look into it before.
Hey, would you do that? Matter of fact, the next time that I call, if you'll have that, Jake, I would really be interested in discussing that, especially with you. No kidding. Seeing how my buddy Charles, he don't want to talk to me no more, or us. Hey, speaking of that.
He did wish you happy birthday, sir. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, well, how's he doing now?
Say it again.
How did he wish me a happy birthday?
Well, I'm on the phone here, and he's, he works down the hall, and he's always talking. He's very, very busy right now, and he just wanted to wish you happy birthday.
Man, I'm going to tell you, you are the best kind of answer machine to have. I like how you just covered for his hind end. That was really good there, Jake. No problem. The time I said thanks. You hear? I do appreciate it. Hey, I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it at the end of this show with you on here, Jake. I was actually going to do one completely separate, and I'm getting ready to do that. But this is the first mention that I'm going to mention this. Do you want to pull up and tell everybody how many viewers that we actually got? How many subscribers that I have now?
Yeah, give me a second, sir.
Because we are growing. We are growing.
It looks like you're over 1,000 subscribers, sir. Congratulations.
Say that again.
You're over 1,000 subscribers.
We're over 1,000. So we got over 1,000 subscribers now. Matter of fact, last I looked, it was 40,000, 40 something or whatever. So we're jumping up there. YouBoob definitely doesn't like me. They already give me a swerp on the wrist there or whatever because I'm trying to tell everybody. I am telling everybody 1,000% the truth, but they don't want you guys to know certain things. So I had actually put out a video, and it was actually when I was talking to my buddy Jake here, and they actually, they kind of give me a little swerp on the wrist there or whatever. So it is what it is. That's okay. That's why I say that we got to stand up. And again, real quick, Jake, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but when I know that if you're going to say you're a private company, then be a private company. But whenever you're a private company and then you start dealing with the government against we the people, you're no longer a private company. You're a government. And that means that we have a right to say what we want to on a government. And you know what? That's another thing. Jake, this is what I want you to tell Doolittle. You tell him that we don't want to pay taxes anymore, and he better take it to whoever he needs to take it to and get our message across that we're done with the taxes thing. And we're also really sick and tired of the gates being open, and if he can't get them closed, that we the people will have to go and close them. You know, I don't know if you remember or not, but there was certain situations over time where there was like schools that wasn't having that wasn't being protected and stuff, and the very people that lived in that community, and well, not just there, but there was other people that traveled and was safeguarding schools and stuff. You know what I mean? Because the government wouldn't do it, and that's in fact what's happening now. Is we're needing to do something. So we're at a boiling point right now. Everything's really volatile right now. I mean, it really is. It's a boiling point. It's about to boil over. And on top of it, the government is spending money, and it's like any time that we the people are trying to say anything, they're just acting like they don't even hear us. So we need for Brad to tell them that something's got to change real quick, real fast. We don't know what Brad needs to do, but he needs to do whatever he can, because otherwise he's going to look like he is, which right now he is part of the problem of this whole thing blowing up. So
Yeah, I'll be happy to pass on all these points to him. I just want to kind of walk through them again. Look into the kickback funding from the Ukraine supplemental. No more taxes. I'll obviously look into some information on your driver's licenses and then interstate commerce as well, and the relation between the two, and then curbing the government spending as well. Those 4 points, I think, I'll be more than happy to discuss with the congressman.
Yeah. Well, but we also we want the whole country to be shut, and we also want to we want not to have to put up with any more invaders. You know, because real quickly on this here, before I do let you get off here, they have this. There's so many of them that's whining because Trump said, but really think about this. This is not Trump saying this. This is about we the people, the ones that's really, really in this country, the ones that's aggravated to the point where I am. It's just there's not very many people that will come right out and tell you like what I'm telling you. It's we're sick of the garbage. We're over it.
I understand, sir. I'll be happy to bring that concern up to the congressman for you.
Hey, Jake, I appreciate you, brother. You're awesome. You hear me?
Of course.
And you know that's really a big thing for me to call the government awesome, but I'm not calling the government awesome. I'm saying you as a human being are definitely cool. And tell my buddy Charles that I really, really truthfully mean that I appreciate him saying happy birthday and stuff. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'll be sure to let him know for you.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Appreciate your help, brother.
Have a good day, all right?
God bless. All right, that was our buddy Government Jake there, the answer machine for Dr. Doolittle there. Anyway, we got serious problems. I didn't mean to be on here this long again, but it happens every time, man. Once I get going and I think about all the aggravation and everything, man, it seems like 5 minutes just goes by like right now, you know. And I appreciate every one of you that's hanging out with us. So appreciate it. Can't believe it that we're over, actually well over 1,000 subscribers now. You guys are awesome. Wherever you're at, in the United States, I'd love to know where you guys are watching from. If you drop it in the comments, would be really cool. If not, I appreciate you being here. Come out, hang out, whatever. I'm doing this because we have to do something, man. This country is in bad trouble right now, and it doesn't have to be this way at all. This is literally evilness that is trying to push itself, you know, right into our business, and they have. We're not just talking about our lives. Our lives, our food, you know, our government, every aspect of our lives now is being absolutely invaded by the evilness, you know. And when I hear about that there is one child suffering in whatever way like that, and you're being quiet about it, man, we're all going to have to pay for that, you know. And it's true, the Bible says that we're saved by our faith and not by acts, you know. But I just can't stand by while there's one person suffering like that. It's wrong. It's not right. Because you lay down at night, and if you have a really nice bed to lay down on, you got your nice soft blankets and your fluffy little pillow and everything, you know, and a place to kneel down where it's dry, and a nice shower and stuff like that the Lord has provided and made it possible for you to have. You know, that's a huge blessing, you know. And I think about all these people out there that's single now, and they fell into the corruption, and they got duped by all this, what do you call them, women lib rights and this, that, and the other thing, you know. It's a shame that men couldn't be real men and treat the real women the way real women need to be treated. You know, the Bible says to, you know, treat them as you would the church, which is, you know, really well. But, you know, you have those winky dinkies that, you know, especially if you look back in the Roman days and you hear about these bathhouses and stuff. Sick. You know, I mean, shoot. Anyway, they did some really sick stuff. And then they would pretend, they would be married to individuals to further their status, you know, on the society pole and stuff. They had these marriages lined up and stuff, well, that's not out of love. And then if you got all these winky dinkies out there who are marrying and it's all fake, and then they would run to these bathhouses and sneak around like that and stuff. And this is what I'm saying. If you got mold in the closet, you can't shut the door and expect for it to go away. So after a while, my point is, if you got mold or something or bugs in your damn closet, go get your dead burn poison out and eradicate. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna get off here. God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Call your representative 202-224-3121. Peace out.